Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche, and I'm going to be making some free line kingfish leaders without a skirt. I'll be using my 6/0 O'Shaughnessy hooks right here. I either like to use the black nickel or the nickel colored hooks for my setups. I'm also using 100-pound swivels right there. And what I'd like to do is set up all my J hooks already onto the piano wire when I first start my leader. The reason for this is something that I'm going to show you here in a bit. I don't know how many of y'all guys actually sit there and look at how much tackle or inventory or gear that you end up losing in the way you build leaders. That can be very important. And so for me, it's all about how much money I can save.
Gotta buy. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
As for me, building leaders and all of that stuff from scratch, starting out of my garage, I had to learn how to save money. And saving money meant I had to think a few steps ahead of the game by creating tackle that allowed me to get the best bang for my buck. And sorry, it took me a second to think of what to say, just because, like I said, it's real important on how I get my thoughts across while looking what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. The reason why I do these videos is to put the knowledge out there, guys, to help y'all out, because I'm like y'all, I don't have these big old fat wallets that I could just sit there and just buy tackle and throw it away. I've got to work hard for it and then, put it together so that way it best suits me and the style of fishing that I do and where I am going to be fishing. Also, too, at any given time, I could be using the exact leaders that I'm building in here that I'm putting up on the wall. When I am setting up to go fishing and stuff like that, I go to the wall on a lot of trips. When I'm needing something or something like that, I go to the wall and I pull it, because that's the best way for me to get out there and also do, some R&D. Make sure that they are top-notch gear going out at all times. And if I seem to find something that's wrong, or I hear something that could be wrong, I would be the first one to jump up to the wall and make sure to start testing everything. Because, putting out, 5,000, 10,000 liters a month, we're human. Sometimes we miss something, but I appreciate everybody that does come to us and let us know, because we are very interested in hearing those things. All right, guys. So with the kingfish rigs, I definitely like using my needle nose pliers right here. It helps me get a grip right near the swivel or the hook, and that way I can do my haywire twist. And with that being said, it gives me a real tight setting to where I can keep it in there, getting the wraps the way I need them to go, and or be able to change direction. I tried using pliers, but it doesn't give me the same grip and or smaller wrap pattern that I'm looking for the eyelet of the hook and or the swivel. For our kingfish rigs, I like to use either the 98-pound or the 113, 115-pound. They never really have a like a 90-pound, 100-pound. It's some off number like that. I am using the tooth-proof single strand piano wire from American Fishing Wire. I either use that or the Malin tooth-proof fishing wire for this. I'm using some 6/0 O'Shaughnessy hooks right there. And as you notice, I use my finger to keep the hook in place, and that's so that way it does not swing around as I'm spinning around and hooking me. But also, too, you can see that I can break apart the wire right there by pre-rigging my J hooks onto my wire. Before I do that, as soon as I start wrapping and breaking off, the hooks are already in there, so I don't have to cut anything and or reset it. So I'm gonna see if I can give you a little bit closer look on there. All right, so as I moved my swivel up and I'm bringing my next one in, what I can do is, since the line is already broke on there from breaking it off of putting the hook on there, I can automatically reconnect my piano wire to it And I always do it on the back side of the hook. I don't do it on the front side to add more stinger hooks on this 3-hook setup. By me being able to do that, because my hooks are already in line of the leader material, as soon as I get this, break off that little tag end, and which I'm going to show y'all that here in just a minute, of how much tackle or how many leaders I'm going to build and how much waste I have afterwards. And this should be a good test for y'all guys. I should be able to show y'all how I am, pinching every penny to bring you the best prices. And there, right there, is the swivel and 2 hooks that I've already done. And I'm going to go ahead and keep going, and I'm going to keep staging those break-offs right there as I build these leaders. I've got to build 20 of them for this order. And so we're going to go ahead and go through the process of me tying the haywires and doing my break-offs. And you'll notice I don't cut my tag ends. I break them off. And the reason I break them off is because I get a lot cleaner break after the tag end has been broken off. You don't have to worry about any of it being sharp around the edges and so forth. And I do have to apologize. I thought I was catching all that in the camera, but you will see how I'll recenter myself and get a lot of it in there as I'm doing this. So I do apologize for that, but I definitely wanted y'all to see how much money I'm saving and how I'm bagging everything. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so when I go to do this, I do the 2 regular twists, maybe 3, before I start doing the wraparound twist to lock in my loop for the haywire twist. This ensures that it does not cinch down on itself. I've seen a lot of leaders out there in the market where all they do is bend the loop open and then they wrap it around like I'm doing right there without doing the cross twist. And in doing that, the leaders normally end up cinching down on themselves, and yeah, not cool. Alright guys, so for those of y'all that have not done any kind of king fishing or toothy critter fishing like this, the reason we prefer the piano wire is because it's easier for us to make the leaders and cheap, because they get destroyed very fast. Compared to coated cable, you would end up spending a lot of money doing stuff like this. With the piano wire, yes, it is a bit on the tedious side of wrapping and twisting and doing all of that, and then setting up these leaders in that way. But it also too, I believe that it does also makes it a little harder for the kingfish to see the bait, especially if you're trolling it like that. But it is something that, if you're going to use coated cable, then it would be real bulky and stuff like that. And more than likely, I've never used it. To tell you the truth, I've never used coated cable for kingfishing in that sense. I've always been to use a single strand piano wire. So even growing up as a young shark fisherman and stuff like that, I was always taught by the old school cats of how to do it like that. However, I didn't learn about how to break it off, so we always had to cut our leaders the way we were taught, with a pair of dikes. And we learned that you could break it off. So this was something that I learned later on in my fishing career, of how to break off those tag ends and making it smooth, so that way you don't have those ends that will slit your hand open if you try to grab that leader. And I do have to warn you guys, these leaders, I mean, they will cut into you. So when you go to grab that kingfish or whatever, make sure you grab the fish and not the leader, or remove the leader before you try to handle that fish, because them hooks can go flying all over the place. Pretty dangerous. So after I took a small break, I looked down at the camera and was finally able to pinpoint where I was actually folding it. So hopefully I can get a lot more of this twist on camera for you guys. And you can see right there how I'm having to hold the leader and be careful with the hook as I'm spinning around. Can't just do it real quick without being aware of that point and that barb. You'll see, you will get bloody with this if you're not careful, or not careful with it. Sorry. I do have to say too, I don't know why I didn't think of this before when I was building my leaders, back when I first started my YouTube channel. It was something that just kind of dawned on me, watching other videos and how they have their camera set up like this. And I do have to say it was a little bit of trial and error, because every time I set up the camera, I always wanted to record the video upright. So I had to learn how to edit it properly in order to create this type of video where you can actually see my little sticker there. Those are the stickers we actually have been passing out on a lot of the orders that do go out, and or customers coming in. It was something that I figured it would be a great way for me to kind of pay it forward with everybody who's trying to get the word out there, trying to help us grow. And I'm totally humbled by the amount of love and support we are getting from the channel and everybody within it as we, learn, evolve, and I look forward to so much more knowledge being learned and shared by the YouTube channel and all the fishermen that are coming in. So it looks like we're going to be setting up for our 25,000 subscriber mark giveaway. Jacked Up Leatherworks is one of our biggest channel sponsors. Is going to be doing a leather reel case for either a 50, 80, or a 130 of the winner's choosing. They will get, one of those. And we also have Gator Lures that's coming in at 5 sets of 5 lures, as our other sponsors are coming in, and we're going to be putting things together to get those prize racks going. And again, guys, the only way to get into our subscriber mark giveaways is to be subscribed to the channel. And also, too, we've been pushing everybody to go subscribe to Jacked Up Leatherworks, one of our biggest channel sponsors, and to be sharing the link to his YouTube channel to all the social media platforms. I have created an email which is called teamhardlife1 @gmail.com for people to get out there, and when they submit the links of our YouTube channel to all the social media platforms, to take a screenshot of each time they do it. That's how you're going to enter into our 25,000 subscriber mark giveaway. You cannot buy into it, guys. You must be subscribed to our channels and be passing the word like that. So as we continue to grow and get to our next level, we want to definitely help out our good friend Jacob at Jacked Up Leatherworks. So make sure you go over to his channel, subscribe, and start watching his videos and give him a thumbs up. You know, everyone you watch, and let him know that we're coming out there to give him a helping hand up. Alright guys, so as you can tell, I ran out of the black nickel hooks, so I'm going to go to the silver hooks right here. These are Durantins the same way, and I'm going to go ahead and start rigging up my kingfish leaders with these hooks. Still doing the same thing, you know, I apply the 3 hooks on there, and then I'll start out with my swivel and begin the leader. And here we go, we're going to keep rocking it, and I will show you how much of the tag ends I had left over after building my 20 or 20 plus leaders. Because normally when I get into building this, I try to build extra for the walls so that way I can build up inventory there. I am going to have to be building these here pretty soon with some skirts on them to give them more flair and stuff like that, so when they're in the water they can distract the fish from what is hidden in the skirts there and or in the bait. As I am making the leaders, I am also double checking the rest of the tackle that we are using with the other leaders. We've got the Legend popping quartz going out into lemon rigs. We've got single drop drum leaders, double drop drum leaders, improved double drop drum leaders, our big black drum leaders, surf weights, regular weights. There's so much tackle that is being moved right now, and it is something we've been waiting for quite a minute now, because during the winter time it really does slow down. But now that everybody's prepping up for spring break, all the stores that are calling for our tackle, know we're there to build tackle that is going to put their customers into the right hands of landing the fish that hooks into it. That's one of the things. We've been around a very long time and have been testing and always looking out for the next best way to ensure that we are putting out the best tackle that we can with the products that we are using, and also too to ensure that we're also going out there and testing. And that's a lot of the videos y'all see within the channel, guys, and we encourage you to ask your questions or help somebody else with knowledge. We definitely don't want any trolling. We want everybody to know that they can depend on us or anybody in the channel. Because I'll tell you up front, I don't know everything there is to know about fishing. No way, shape, or form. But I do love to go, I do love to learn, and I do love to share knowledge. But with that being said too, guys, a lot of y'all that are up and coming in the channel or in the YouTube or other arenas, when you're putting the knowledge out there of, fishing spots and stuff like that, you got to remember there's a lot of people out there wanting to know those spots and this and that. And I had to learn this the hard way. Me and Capt.Eric with Team Real Locos, this is something that we prided ourselves in being able to show people some good fishing areas to fish. However, we started seeing a lot of destruction in those areas where people go out and have no, sympathy or empathy for the areas they're fishing. They're driving out in no drive areas. They're not cleaning up after themselves, and then they're just obliterating, all the fish they catch or get hooked into because they feel it's whatever they want to do. They don't follow the rules. So with that being said, guys, if you're going to be doing, sharing locations and stuff, just remember, hey, you were the one that brought it out there. You're the one that showed everybody where to go, and with that being said, if it doesn't have a very sustainable current or an ability to restock itself, those areas will be fished out and they'll be dead for a while. And, that's going to be pretty crazy, because then you're going to have to start looking for more spots. And I know a lot of guys, that's all they do is they look for more spots to go out there and go fish. And, they trudge through mud, through swamp, and through brush and woods and all kinds of things to get out there and fish, guys. Now, just want to encourage everybody to go out there and have a good time and share knowledge, share the pier, and have a good time. So keep growing, keep sharing the knowledge, and y'all have a good one, guys, as I am closing out the day, building all these leaders, getting ready to go home. Time to go. Alright. Needed 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2. Let me double check. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Beautiful. Right, so I got a couple extra. Now I'm trying to put some labels in there.
You wrote it down?
Okay. Did you check the labels to see how they looked on there?
improve the size of the hook. So we used to use 4-aughts, now we're using 6-aughts. It'd probably be cheaper to go to HB rather than Walmart. And we got an order from Fisherman's Place and Causeway. I texted the one for Fisherman's, but I'll work on it right now so it's good.
There we go. Kingfish rigs right there.
Awesome.